It's another show out there. It's called El Chapo. And it's the real life story of the Mexican drug lord who dug tunnels. He made it on Forbes magazine, and every time they put him in jail, he'd be like, I think I'm gonna move. And he'd go to his restroom. He already had a whole secret compartment. And he just went down his own custom slide like a boss. Go Chapo, go Chapo. I was in the middle of a Chapo binge. My dad started texting me. He's like, Mijo, I miss you. We need to meet up. Mijo, I miss you. Meet up. Miss you. Meet up. I was like, it's a setup, bro. Like, miss you. He spelled it right and everything. This can't be him. Everything about this ain't him. I said, hell no, declines.
Chingo Bling is on the Adam Carolla Show.
He's got dates. He's going to be in Houston at the Improv February 23rd, and then he's going to be in Midland, Texas. That's going to be Class Act venue, Midland, March 15th. And what you can do is go to chingobling.com for all the live dates. El Chapo, is he the one that came out through the sewer?
Yeah, he allegedly, they had a tunnel built just for him. He came out like in a little motorcycle.
And he had like a toboggan.
What is that?
A toboggan is what you go down a flume in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a funicular, but on the ground.
Got it. Yeah, I thought it was like a type of Winnebago or something.
No, a toboggan is a sled.
Got it. Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to clarify. He doesn't speak English,
Right.
isn't his,
That makes it,
thing. So think funicular.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
I got the picture in your head?
Yeah.
All right, now picture that in a flume.
Yes.
Okay.
My vocab's going to be
and
great.
then picture a horizontal sled.
Got it.
Okay, and flume, but again, funicular on the ground. Okay,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Understood.
Modified scooter with like train track thing or something. I don't
he
know.
laid down. Well, your dad.
Well, he escaped twice.
Yes, your dad would know what a mechanic's creeper was. That's the thing you slide under the car. He basically laid down on that, I think, and went down in the tunnel.
Street looting.
Anytime I was thinking like rich country, poor country, a lot of tunnels. You know, it's either Japan and the whole subway and all that kind of stuff, the metro and all the tunnel, the channel going under the English Channel, or it's Hamas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're physically just digging tunnels. Like the middle of the road cities, no tunnels. They're all above ground. We're all on slabs.
Well, you know what? Like the whole, drug dealers on the border thing, like, they always got exclusive credit for like, oh my God, there's tunnels, and like, oh my God, there's a tunnel like San Diego, and there's all these tunnels, and now tunnels are like everywhere. They're just popping up. Like, oh yeah, everybody's got tunnels. New York, there's just all these tunnels. So I'm like, oh shit, dude, like the cartel feel like
they feel like the black man
mystique is
feels
gone.
About Elvis. You know what I mean? They ripped off their art. That's their thing. Where's the love? Where's the credit, at least?
Right.
Hey, man, we're fucking OG tunnelers here.
License this tunnel blueprint to you at least.
That's right. Yeah.
The kickback.
I like the, think about, first off, we should have got Hamas in on the channel. You know what I mean? Like, hey, guys. We don't really know what we're doing here because we live above ground, but you guys. But the idea, has anyone been through the channel?
No.
The channel, it's like a funicular, but it's it goes under the channel. It's 27 miles.
Oh, wow.
I may be thinking of 22 miles. Like I may be thinking of how far away. We were under there for a while, and I don't know what the distance is.
31.35 miles.
31 miles.
Yeah.
So you can go from France to the UK using the channel.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of things in the Bay Area, going from Oakland to San Francisco, but it's less than a mile.
Yeah.
I think.
They tunneled 31 miles under this. I mean, when you're taking the train, you're under there for a while. It's crazy, man. That's a feat.
It's got to give you anxiety, no?
A construction feat. Well, that's why they have the bar. You have a couple pops, you don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, they have a bar on the channel?
Yeah.
You don't hang out in the channel.
Parks.
No, I mean, no, on the train.
Yeah, every European train will have anything. I mean, I don't think they like commuter trains.
Right.
No, but if you're going from way inland in England to France, you'll be on that train. It's not the channel. The channel is, half hour of the ride. The whole ride is like 2 hours. It's mostly above ground, and you can get a pop.
Talk about anxiety, though. I mean, when we hadn't had an earthquake for a long time in San Francisco, and I had to commute every day into the city on BART, anytime you're underneath the San Francisco Bay, and you're like, this could be it. If today we get the earthquake that fucking breaks the tunnel, it's over. So we could have used a bar on that train.
I agree.
That's all I'm saying.
Anytime, if I was in charge, it'd be like, anytime you go subterranean, there's got to be access to booze. Sorry, those are the rules.
That should be a world law.
That's right. Mm-hmm. You got a service dog, I got service booze. That's what. All right, what's going on in the news?
Well, there's been a lot of robberies, burglaries, smash and grabs going on. I mean, you saw that video of that kid at the Apple store just ripping all the iPhones out, walks by a cop car.
That's where we're at.
Crime wave.
Mm-hmm.
Like Newsom's even sending 120 California Highway Patrol officers to Oakland to crack down on the crime surge out there.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Funding the police. Did you hear Newsom getting caught on the hot mic on that Zoom call?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I'm at a Target, and this guy is like, why don't you apprehend the guy? He's stealing. And they're like, because the governor.
And then they look up. Oh.
Also,
there it is.
He does this humble brag. Like, I don't know, they're complaining. Like, his whole thing is his state goes to shit, and then he goes, I don't know why everyone's blaming it on policy. It's like, well, because we've lived here under other policy that wasn't shit policy, and now it's shit. So we will blame it on the policy. Like, number one, in his hot mic, too, he goes, we're the 10th toughest on criminals. Like, you cracked the top 10. Like, right.
You can also tell he's a liar because at the end he goes, well, boy, I hope none of the press was on at that time.
Oh, I didn't.
Because he thought he was just talking to mayors.
Right. But by the way, is that like, what if a football coach said, yeah, I know we're not in the Super Bowl, but we're the 10th most successful team. And it looks like, oh, yeah, so you should be fired then. You don't brag about being number 10, the toughest. Yeah.
So anyways, I mean, like, look, crime in Oakland is up 21%. That's violent crime, actually. Robberies up 38%. Vehicle theft up 45%. So he's sending all those cops in. He's doing something about it. So
he's a fucking retard, though, because it is. Look, everyone. Here's what we shouldn't have to live with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Where you go, look, this apartment has a roach problem. All right, I got a policy. We're gonna leave Jell-O out a lot, and then you go, I don't think that's not gonna help get rid of roaches. We'll probably get more roaches. Yeah. And go, listen to me. This is what we're going to do. We're spread Jell-O all over this apartment. And you go, I don't know. How would this work? We're doing it. And then you do it. And then the roach problem gets a shitload worse. And then you announce triumphantly, listen, you know what? I'm hiring an Orkin guy now. It's like, yeah, okay, dickhead, because your shit policies caused more problems. And now, don't worry, I'm going to take a bunch of taxpayer money. Now we're going to fix this problem. Mm-hmm. Listen, we vote for you guys to come up with this shit before it happens, not make it happen and then fucking clean it up. Like, you can't take a fucking bowl of chili and throw it on the floor and then go, what's going on here? And then go, I'm going to clean this up. No, you did it.
They're like, we need $100 million to get to the root cause of the roach problem.
Yeah, he says what's happening.
Hire more bureaucrats.
What's happening in this beautiful city and surrounding area is alarming and unacceptable.
It's unacceptable, except for you brought it on and all your ilk and all your shit policy.
Well, here's a good conspiracy theory. We defund the police. We release criminals from jail. We get the crime to an all-time record levels so that you, as governor, can throw in your personal police force. Gavin Newsom has direct control over the California Highway Patrol. They are tasked with his protective
When
duty.
he came here,
Now-
he had highway patrol with him.
Yeah, here we go. Martial law. This is the beginning of we caused a problem, so now we can put our government police force in charge because you are clamoring for it.
You are going to make a great 73-year-old.
Oh,
That's all I can say about you, Dawson. If this is
Yeah,
you,
good luck getting there.
If you haven't hit 50 yet, you're going to be
March.
fucking awesome at 73.
Yeah, Oakland lost their In-N-Out. Remember, they've lost a few Denny's restaurants.
They lost
They
to Dunkin' Donuts.
and their Kaiser Permanente, the hospital there, they're saying, hey, to their employees, please stay inside for lunch.
Wow.
Like, don't leave the building.
But the thing, so this then reminds me of something. And do we have that Adam Schiff TV commercial, which I was going to share with our next guest, but it's kind of got me going now.
Yeah, we'll bring it up.
You have
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
So the
I
It's a
thing,
common theme, right? All these
Yeah.
mayors and politicians.
okay, so here's the thing that's crazed about California, and I got a front row seat to it with my mom, and she was very progressive, although she didn't pay any taxes ever. But then she announced rich people don't pay taxes. And then I said to her, well, you don't pay taxes and you're poor, right? And I'm rich and I don't pay taxes. Who the fuck's paying the taxes, dumb shit? Like, what do you mean rich people don't pay the taxes? By the way, from the person who pays zero taxes, you know. But don't worry. She's going to make sure these rich people pay their taxes, which I love. It's beautiful. It's part of being progressive. You get to fucking do shit and then complain about it. You know, you get to come to this country and then hate this country, Ilhan Omar, whoever it is,
man.
right? You get to do what you want. All right, that's the beauty of the movement. But the thing about her is the last thing she said to me before she died is, I would vote for Newsom, 1,000 times. And I'm like, okay. So I'm looking at this. So what I'm saying is this. And it's a problem with California, and I know Hollywood guys are exact same way. It's like, look, your party has jumped the shark and has fucked up the state you're living in. Is there a possibility that you might go another direction just as an experiment, just to see what would happen if you voted for someone who wasn't a Democrat, just to see if we could make a dent in all the shit that's gone down over the last decade in the state? And the answer is no. And I was watching Adam Schiff, who's the guy who
Running for Senate.
Shifty Schiff.
yeah, he's run for Senate, and he's running against Steve Garvey, ex-Dodger great and San Diego Padre great. Good guy, met him a few times. And basically his whole spiel is not that there's anything wrong with Steve Garvey's policies. He's a Republican. He's just going, he's Republican. Come on, this is California. We love shit policies. And you vote for this guy, and Oakland may have saved its In-N-Out burger if this guy was in charge. Is that what you want?
This is
Kaiser Permanente? You want people eating outside the building? Wow. Go ahead and vote this guy. But so just watch the clip. They're basically just going, he's a Republican. And the other part's funny about it, too, is they go, and he votes for Republicans.
Oh,
like, oh,
boy,
look out.
Yeah.
Who could have seen
Oh,
that
no,
one
can't have
coming?
that.
kill card.
All right, we'll play it.
Two leading candidates for Senate, two very different visions for California. Steve Garvey, the leading Republican, is too conservative for California.
All red.
He voted
He's
for Trump
Republican.
twice and supported Republicans for years, including far-right conservatives. Adam Schiff, the leading Democrat, defended democracy against Trump and the insurrectionists.
Oh, Lord.
He helped build affordable housing,
Dawson's
lower
throwing up.
drug costs, and bring good jobs back home. The choice is clear.
I'm Adam Schiff, and I approve this message.
All right.
That's a weird angle.
First off, Trump and the Insurrectionists would be a great band name. I'd join that band in a second. So he went after Trump
I think
and
they're
the
opening up for
Insurrectionists.
Safe Space
Safe Space.
this spring.
Dude, I got canceled in like 2020. So basically, I was just a lefty Larry just by default. I'm sure college kind of really helped drill in some things, right? Just take
have
my
to.
brain, wash it. But long story short, obviously a lot of my earlier career stuff is like super lefty, like polarizing, like they can't deport us all, stuff like that. Very emotion. And then in 2020, I went live on my, it was Periscope on Twitter.
Oh, sure.
And But at this point, Lil Wayne had already kind of endorsed Orange Man bad, and a couple rappers. I'm like, oh, the coast is clear. So I went back in the back of our house, went live, and I'm just saying stuff, you know, like, man, I think the Orange guy did kind of a good job. He might deserve another 4 years or whatever. I come back in the house, and my wife's like, hey, you were back there for a while. How'd it go? And I was like, she's like, you didn't say anything that's gonna like get you in trouble, you know, because you have a tour and all these things. And I'm like, nah, I think somebody would have to go in and like splice out and edit and cut things out. And I'm like, who's gonna do that? Next morning, it's on all like the Fools Gone Wild, all these pages. Mm-hmm. And dude, a lot of my fans, they got really offended. But I never apologized. I never folded. I never, you know, bended or anything. I stuck to my guns. And here we are 4 years into this regime. And now a lot of, you know, not everybody. Some people still want to like, you know, you turned your back on your people and you hate your own. You know, you're a coconut. You're brown on the outside.
Oh, coconut.
You're a Republican on the inside, and you hate your own, and you're worse than the Cubans in Florida. Everything. They hit me with like everything. But you know, I gained a lot of new people too, and people who maybe wanted to be a fan, but they were probably like, dude, this guy's just too much to the left. But I mean, I obviously kind of snapped out of like, yo, we kind of need some law and order. Like, we need security. We need some, you know, we need strength. We need a strong dollar economy, safe communities.
Look, it's diet and exercise. Everyone tries to make everything more complicated than that. And you don't need a nutritionist. You don't need a personal trainer. It's just diet and exercise. You know it. Family, education, security, police, safety, you know, the government that kind of knows its place. Like, just, it's all basic shit.
Constitution.
Yeah, and they're trying to tell us something is different than diet and exercise, and it's not. Pull back the police, then you have Oakland. And by the way, Oakland, a bunch of people who don't know their dad, who are much more likely to go out and create crime in Oakland. I think there's just a bunch of shit that you can't negotiate with, you can't argue with. It just is. And what's going on, we're living in an era where politicians are trying to convince us of something that isn't. You know what I mean? Like when AOC is like, look, some poor mom just steals a loaf of bread to feed her family. No, I just saw everyone ransack an Apple store.
Yeah.
There's no bread in there, bitch. It's
Louis
like,
Vuitton.
when Gavin Newsom, like the true face of homeless is a working mom with 2 kids who's not addicted to anything, who's just divorced and needs a place to lay her head. It's like, that's nothing. You can't convince us. It's not happening. No kid died of COVID who was healthy. Nobody stole a loaf of bread. Nobody is the real face of homeless is fucking junkies with mental disorders. Mm-hmm. You're trying to. The border's secure. It's secure.
Man.
Have I been to the border? We've been to the border. Have I been? No, they've been to the. Who's been to the border? Yeah, where's that damn bridge? As Led Zeppelin would say. Like, they're trying to convince us. You cannot lower math test scores and then expect math proficiency to go up.
No, but the numbers will.
No, yes, none of this will work. None of it will work. That's the whole thing. All of it will be Oakland. That'll be what will happen. And then you go, this guy, Steve Garvey, he wants to do other stuff.
Yeah.
That was a crazy guy.
Yeah,
Adam Schiff defended democracy from Trump and his insurrection.
This guy's a Republican who
That's all it
votes
said.
for other Republicans. This guy,
Oh my God.
It's
this
just
guy's
fear.
a rancher who eats steak.
Now, what's sad is that's going to work.
That'll work in California. That'll work.
Because
Like,
it
what?
works out here.
People
He's
are
a
primed.
what?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
People are primed for the propaganda.
And you went after Trump and the insurrectionists.
See, I've said this for a long time. The problem with California politics is no one's from here.
Right.
So they bring their liberal ideologies to California and they vote a certain way knowing that their family's somewhere else. And these policies that they're enacting aren't really going to affect them because this is not their home.
They have to live here. I mean, the good people of Oakland probably don't like the policies, but it doesn't matter. They're just programmed to vote a certain way. And listen, forget about the party. Just go with the policy. If you want safer streets, if you want lower taxes, if you want better schools, or whatever it is, vote along those lines. But Adam Schiff's pitch is Steve Garvey's a Republican.
Yeah.
I love that.
By the way, did you know that they're trying to pass a no write on red law on the next ballot?
Oh, yeah.
And they are claiming that it is for children's safety. You know what it's really for? So that they can put up red light cameras and enforce it and make money. It's a cash grab.
And then
That's
comes
all
facial,
it is.
facial
73-year-old Dawson. That should be a new bit. Also, hey, Adam Schiff, you voted for Joe Biden. He's a shit show. How about we just turn the tables on you? Joe Biden's fucking horrible, and you voted for him. So what's your excuse?
According to the media and KJP, they're like, oh, Americans just don't feel it yet, but the economy's humming. I mean,
Right.
we've brought it back because Trump broke it, and we're fixing the
broke
budget.
the board.
Pelosi's doing well. Last month, she had I think an 86% return on her stock investments.
Oh, yeah.
She beat the S&P 500 or something
Who did?
by like 60 points. Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi.
Pelosi.
Oh, you know what you need to do is we need that clip of her just going, I'm just here for the children. You're here for the children. You're fucking crushing it in the stock market.
Yeah.
But maybe you'll take some of that lettuce and spread it
don't know
around to
what
the
you're gonna do
kids
with
or
it,
something. Yeah. I'm just here for the children. Meanwhile, I'm just fucking getting an 86%
86,
return
yeah.
on my
Maybe it was
stocks.
85, but almost 100% of her money, almost doubled her money
Right.
in a month.
For the children.
And you know she's playing with big dollars
For
too.
the children. Yeah, children. You got to find that clip. It's a great clip. She's there for the children. All right, let's do another
Yeah,
one.
well-
Angered me.
So speaking of vehicle theft, it's not just here. It's not just Oakland. It's also happening in Michigan. Sturgis had a pretty big vehicle theft.
Sturgis, the
recently.
biker rally?
Sturgis, Michigan.
That's in Michigan? I thought that was in a Dakota.
That's in Dakota.
Well, there's a Sturgis in Michigan too.
All
Sturgis
right, do
Department.
your research.
I just said I didn't say it.
Sturgis.
I just repeated.
I heard-
I think it's spelled differently too. This is GIS, and I think yours is ESS or something
Part
like
of
that.
a good news man is okay. Go ahead.
I wouldn't know. So there's a Sturgis about 150 miles west of Detroit, and
There's I heard there's Arctic temperatures in Maui. Oh, Maui, Alaska. I'm sorry. Alaska.
yeah, let me finish.
Okay.
let me
sorry.
finish.
All right,
See?
so Sturgis.
Yeah. So there's a Walmart there, and an Amish family brought their horse and buggy to the Walmart, and they came back out. It was stolen.
What?
Yeah. So this woman stole it, took their horse and buggy, drove it about 10 miles. But I mean, sorry, not 10, 2 miles before she got caught. Still wouldn't make the channel.
Went 2 miles, then they ran out of hay.
Yeah, I
She
know.
pulled it
Out of
over.
fuel.
Yeah.
So she was staying in a nearby motel. She was arrested,
That's junky behavior.
staying in a motel.
You're
stealing a
at
horse
a
and buggy.
motel and you steal a horse and buggy. That's pure junky, drug-fueled impulse control issue. That's not, I've planned this caper.
No.
Yeah.
She wasn't tracking them to the
No.
Walmart. So they didn't disclose the reason for the initial contact. She was charged with larceny and larceny of livestock,
Wow.
pending an arraignment, and is being held at St. Joseph County Jail, according to the Sturgis, Michigan Department
Yes.
of Public Safety.
It's funny because when it's funny how the mind works. You go, there's a lot of car theft in Sturgis, and I'm like, those are all motorcycles. Where are they stealing the cars? That's how I guarantee if you saw a picture of this woman's mugshot, she would be super white trash, junkie,
Right.
all meth head. That's all.
I heard in Milwaukee they're stealing a lot of Kia brand cars, and I think the local politicians are like, well, Kia needs to fix their security system.
It started in New York. San Diego did it.
They're all
Like, yeah.
all the
Kias.
blue states with all the blue cities with the car theft problems want to go after manufacturer. By the way, chick think. That's 100% chick think. That's a perfect example of chick think. Like somebody stealing a whole bunch of cars. Let's go after the person that built the cars
Yeah.
instead of the person who's stealing the cars, which is back to diet and exercise. It will never work. You can sue fucking Kia. You can sue them all you want. Hyundai, you can sue them all you want. You can get paid all you want. You can take all the money you got from the payout and build youth centers. None of it's going to work. There's only one. That is cops Dads, discipline, diet, and exercise, everybody.
Right.
That's all.
Facts.
That's all we got.
So they're in New York City, New York. There is a cruise leaving there, 7-day cruise, themed around the Love Boat.
Oh, somebody tweeted me this.
It's hitting water this summer. It's a princess cruise, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
That's what
they're
they had
staying
back
true
then.
to their origin. And yeah, it's happening this summer, and it's going to have cast members on there. It's going to have the Doc, Gopher, Isaac. You can party
Julie-
on a boat.
Where's Julie McCoy? She not on?
Does it say where does it go?
It leaves New York, hits Newport, Rhode Island, Boston.
Oh, okay.
So far, it sounds like a
Canada.
60 and singles cruise.
I don't like it. First off, it needs to leave L.A. That's where the original left. It went to L.A. and it went to Mexico. It left L.A., went to Mexico. So that's where it needs to go for authenticity, because that show is so authentic.
Right.
And the Doc, now I have Captain Stubing's original jacket. Did you know that?
No.
That should be able to get you on.
Oh, I don't need a ticket for this cruise.
No.
I just need that jacket. Yeah, I'll walk right onto that princess bad boy. Yeah. Well, look, this is what you do when you're older and you need some money. That's fine. I get it. I'll have it'll be fun.
There's zero draw for anybody under 40, though.
0. Yeah.
Dawson's going on a few cruises this year. He's a
Oh
big
yeah, he's
cruise
going to
guy.
be working the mic.
Introducing bands on Cruise to the Edge in March and the On the Blue Cruise, the classic rock one, in April.
Who's on the classic rock one?
Well, your best friend, Alan Parsons.
Oh, AP.
Alan Parsons, the Zombies. It's a whole bunch of great bands.
Yeah, Alan Parsons is all you
Alan
need.
Parsons.
Iron Powder's all I need, but zombies are great too. Did you find that Nancy Pelosi?
Martin Barr from Jethro Tull is on the Cruise to the Edge, and I saw him on one of the last cruises. Now, Martin Barr, guitarist for Jethro Tull, he hired a singer that looks and sounds just like Ian Anderson and doesn't play the flute. So you get that killer Jethro Tull music, but it's different because there's no flute.
Yeah, because Ian Anderson, I know Jethro Tull's huge in the Hispanic community, so we don't need to tell you about
Yeah.
Ian Anderson.
Of course.
You had the poster up on your ceiling as a youth, right?
Of course.
Smelling your mom making the tamales in the next room, you
Some
checking out Ian
bumping.
Anderson.
Yeah. Oh no, Ian Anderson on a Saturday morning time. We're cleaning the house.
But he would play the shit out of the flute, but he's also the lead singer. So he'd be like, then you'd hear him go, and he'd start singing, and then he'd go back to the flute, but he'd be gulping for air while he was playing the flute before he'd go back to sing. Like it was a real dance.
We also got Glenn Hughes with Deep Purple.
That Glenn Hughes.
Yeah. Al Stewart,
He's awesome.
Uriah Heep, Starship featuring Mickey Thomas. And we were laughing on the last cruise. Mickey Thomas and Starship played, and you got to fill the Grace Slick spot. There's got to be,
Yeah.
And they played that song "Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now," and my friends and I are standing. I'm like, okay, here's the test. Here's the test. This is where we know if this woman really nails the gig. And you know that line in the Starship song, "Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now." Can say we're crazy. What do they know? And
He likes TV, and I like movies. Is that what you're talking about? Is Grace Slick alive?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
All right. Check and find me that Nancy Pelosi.
Well, the reason they're
with the
probably
kids.
not they're doing the East Coast is because the West Coast is messed up. I mean, San Diego, there's a huge prostitution problem happening there right now.
Well, wait a minute. We decriminalized prostitution.
With the Safer Streets Act, yeah.
so
Gavin
there you go.
Newsom, before he sent all those CHP to Oakland, he signed a bill called the Safer Streets for All Act, which repealed a previous law that banned loitering with the intent to engage in prostitution in order to help protect transgender women from reportedly being targeted by police. So.
All right. So problem solved then?
Well, you would think, but business owners in San Diego, they're having trouble with a lot of these prostitutes. Like they'll walk inside the properties of these businesses and just look at the owners and go like, "What are you looking at? Quit staring. or I'll get my pimps in and they'll hurt you or they'll hurt your business.
It's a perfect storm of retardation. Like, we don't want the trans prostitute community, which makes up what percent of the San Diego community? 61%, or is it lower than 50%?
Yeah, it's somewhere in the.
We got this way less than 1% community who are batshit crazy nut jobs, and we're going to craft some legislation around them that's
give
going
it a cool name.
That's going to ruin the entire place.
Safer
right?
Streets.
Ironically
Safer
named
Streets.
the Safer Streets
Yeah,
Act.
we'll give it a euphemistic title.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Like Inflation Reduction Act.
Yeah, right. We'll give it a good title, then we'll pass it, and then 10 minutes will go by, and we'll have a shit problem because of this, just like we did with defund the police.
Yeah, and now there's a threat of these pimps carrying out physical attacks, destroying your property, stealing. So residents and businesses, they don't want to talk to the police about it because they're scared.
So it should have been Empower the Pimps Act.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
Power
time
to-
to be a pimp.
Bishop Don Magic Juan would go on a speaking crusade, educating the public about green is for the money and gold is for the honey. You know what I mean? So the kids, he could speak
The
at,
purse first.
yes, he could speak at schools. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Grace Slick is alive at 84 years old.
Wow. Man, the over-under on her was like 63.
Seriously.
Do we find Nancy and the kids, the children?
I think he's still, while he's still looking.
Whatever happened to the guy with the hammer in his underwear and the husband and the that whole debacle?
That's Paul. That's
That
the
was like a
husband.
legitimate attack, though, right? Like just a
word?
crazy
Okay.
dude.
It was okay. He was attacked by a guy with a hammer, but they wouldn't release the surveillance, the body cam
Very
footage,
weird, yeah.
and so people got suspicious.
Yeah.
Then they fired the reporter who reported on it, saying he was attacked by a hammer. He opened the door and let the cops
Everyone
in
was
or whatever.
arguing who went in,
so
who
they
went in
fired that
first,
guy.
yeah.
But the first lie is the first lie they always do every single time is this guy was some kind of right-wing MAGA, probably voted for Steve Garvey. Yeah.
It could have been Steve Garvey.
Now, I don't want to watch the tape. It's depressing. But the point is this guy was a nut, number one. He was like a nudist. He was like hippie, commune
He's old
guy.
school crazy.
He's old school crazy. And if anything, he would have been considered a hippie.
Yeah.
But he was a MAGA guy because CNN would love that theme, right? So they just got out. Then that turned out to be true. And because they get out of the gate lying about all these guys, they go, Kyle Rittenhouse went down to Oshkosh on a killing spree,
Yeah.
They get out of the gate with a lie.
Yeah.
They get out of the gate, the guy with the Indian on the steps of the Capitol, or any of George Floyd,
Covington kids.
right? The January 6th insurrection. They get out of the gate with a lie. It's not that something didn't happen; it's their version of it didn't happen, and it always skews one direction,
Do you
right?
think, like, after an incident like this happens, there's like PR or somebody goes, wait, don't release the information. There has to be a way we can spin this.
So, well, what basically what CNN does is if a white cop shoots a black guy with a knife on this corner, and then on the next corner a black cop shoots a white guy with a straw, then they just report. They just go, let's just focus on the black guy getting shot with and don't bring up the knife, and we'll just do it that way. So they have a theme, a narrative, and then they just get it and they spin it hard, like at the beginning. And because they get out of the gate and they spin at the beginning, Hunter Biden's laptop, there's no proof that
Russian.
that's Hunter Biden's Russian glue.
Disinformation.
At 51, okay, so they get out with a lie, or at least a spin. And then what happens is it starts to get unspun. And when it's getting unspun, that's when the conspiracy comes in. Now, nobody believes them. And then they go, was this guy really some kind of MAGA right wing? No, let's look into it. And then you find out he's living in a bus on blocks, and he's a hippie, and he's a nudist, and now we're in our area. And then the CNN side of the aisle goes, you know what? You're right. We need a truth commission so we can put an end to this. And it's like, oh, you guys want a truth commission. Oh, okay.
We have audio only of Nancy Pelosi for the children.
That's right.
So I think that it's an excuse. I think it's not a reason to be. It's an excuse, and I think that We just have to get on with this election for the children, for the people.
Yes, she loves the children. And she loves stocks and bonds.
Yeah.
She loves the NASDAQ and the Nikkei and Wall Street and the children. The children. She's big into the kids.
Remember during the lockdowns when she was showing off her fridge and her fancy ice cream? She's like, just enjoy it,
I
ice
have
cream.
a walk-in Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Each door on her fridge was bigger than my fucking house I grew up in. And she's going to open it. It's like, hey, this is an $86 Dove bar.
Yeah.
I
For the
enjoy
children.
that.
Jesus.
Also, it's the weirdest thing in the world to literally live in opulence like you're royalty and constantly just talk about the kids and the people and the poor people and the little people. It's like, it's such a weird, wouldn't you have thoughts about that? You know what I mean? Like in Goodfellas when, the Lufthansa heist and everyone's walking around in mink coats and driving up in Cadillacs and De Niro's like, take all this shit back.
Yeah.
Take it back. We don't want to be on the radar. Nancy, you make $183,000 a year salary. Your refrigerator's $272,000. Don't show it off on Jimmy Fallon's show.
Yeah.
And maybe talk a little more about the kids.
And meanwhile, everyone's stuck at home. Like, a lot of people aren't essential. Like, comedy clubs are closed. A lot of people couldn't work.
All right. Our next guest is out there. Do you have a story you love, or should we just smoothly transition into our next guest?
Let's smoothly transition.
Okay. If you want to give up on your
news. Let me finish.
Okay.
After I talk about South Carolina, they are seeking to restart executions with electric chair and firing squads. But lawyers are suing right now because they're saying at least 4 inmates. There's 33 inmates on death row, but at least 4 inmates are suing, saying, "Hey, these old punishments are cruel and unusual." But the state is saying, "We never said that these deaths have to be painless."
Okay, well, let's just really examine death for a second. You know what I mean? There's ways you can go, right? Mm-hmm. Your body could be riddled with cancer. You know what I mean? You could go out like Toby Keith. You get stomach cancer. You're well aware of it 18 months before you die, but you got it. And then you're in and out and chemo and stuff. And at some point, it's like your last 3 days and there's no more chemo and there's no more anything. It's just kind of call the family and you just lay there, right? Sure. And then you slowly expire, right? Well, that doesn't sound better than a firing squad, really, if you think about it. How does everybody you died of cancer. All right, it was slow, it was difficult. His kids are young. They were in the room crying, saying, "I'll never forget you, Daddy," or whatever, ovarian cancer, whatever it is. Okay, there's cancer. Then there's go down in a commercial flight. We're 32,000 feet, fucking wing blows off. Right. You got 5 minutes before you hit the ground. That's not going to be a peaceful journey into the abyss. You know what I mean? There's drowning. There's going to Oakland and getting attacked by street mob.
Just drop you in the middle of Oakland.
There's being dropped in the middle of Oakland.
You're at the wrong Apple store.
I mean, there's being bit by a snake, when you're camping. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to go. Most of them are kind of long and uncomfortable and mentally not good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like falling off the back of a cruise ship and seeing it go away into the night. And dying that way, that mentally would be difficult.
Yeah.
So first off, where did this promise come of you just get to drift off into the abyss? And there's not much faster than getting shot. You don't do much faster than that, and it's not cheaper either.
So weirdly, the firing squad has not been used in the past, in the past 50 years. It's only been used 3 times, and all of them were carried out in Utah. I
love it. If I was in the firing squad, this guy raped 26 children and 4 women, and then he raped and dismembered the last woman. If I was on the firing squad, they'd be like 1, 2, and a quick shot to the nuts. Yeah. Boom. I didn't say 3. Sorry, man. Yeah, okay, you guys go now.
Reload.
Yeah, just give him a couple. The one shot to the nutsack. Just 2 seconds. What are you going to do? Get fired from the firing
They're like,
squad?
oh, great. Now we really got to kill him.
Well,
like,
I
quick.
lost my job that I do once every 11 years. That's all volunteer, man.
And lethal injection. So South Carolina hasn't performed an execution with lethal injection in 13 years because the drugs that they used for it, they expired. And then companies refused to sell them more drugs.
So what if they expire? Like, he could get an infection.
I know, it's just weakened. So the company said, we won't sell you the drugs unless you can hide our identities from the public.
Oh, listen. I don't. First off, listen. All the pro-abortion people are anti this, which they go, well, that's not consistent, and they do a kind of two-way street about it. Look, if you've killed people, you can be killed. We don't care. Moving on. It's just I don't know why we're arguing about it. How many people we're affecting? Plus, there's a little thing which is a lot of guys who are on death row and murders in prison, they actually murder people in prison. They have a capacity for this. It's something they do. It's kind of their thing. And then secondly, what are you going to do to them? Add another 100 years to their lifetime sentence? So
you can't phase them.
There are people that get killed in prison by people who should have been the recipient of the death penalty. That's all. All right. Steve Garvey needs your vote. That's all I'm saying. Chingo Bling is got shows everywhere. Go to chingobling.com.
Thank you so much, man.
And
wait, let me read his dates because we were going to, but your alarm.
I read them.
Okay.
No, true, but I'm a pro. When we came back,
all right.
Yeah, your head was over in Sturgis while I was giving dates.
I was looking at motorcycles.
You're one of the Sturgises.
We'll talk to Nathan. You been to Lamar? Riverside, California? Been there? Lamar Street? Okay.
This is unfair that you're making fun of me about geography right now.
Yeah, but you were the one who wanted to know where the arch was from Utah.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Guess here.
Listen, I used to say nobody's worse than me, but I think I may have met my match.
I attribute it more to dyslexia than anything.